live stream right here from the mountains. I'm just going to slightly adjust the camera. There we go. That's the view we want to have. I am out here in the mountains, and it is 5:55 a.m. and we're just going to start off this morning relatively easily because we had quite the hike yesterday, and sunrise is in that direction, so that would be facing east. I'm just going to relax for a minute as we wake up. And I'm going to do two things this morning. I'm going to do some mobility, full body mobility actually, easy routine, and then I'm going to move on to some upper body strength. So I'm going to do some floor presses and some rows. Nothing conditioning wise, because we have another day of hiking ahead of us. So I don't need to do too much on my conditioning, but I do need to see to the joints and muscles and that everything is moving properly and right. So that's what we're going to be doing this morning. Like I always say, I train to live a self-sufficient, adventurous, active life. That's why I'm here this morning. But why are you here? What do you want to get out of a morning routine or an evening routine or a workout or fitness or nutrition or better sleep or your career or life in general? There are many things to consider building a routine around. My morning routine is just one of many habits, I think, I have in my day-to-day that make me effective or ineffective, because I won't pretend that my life is perfect. It isn't, even though this is pretty amazing and looks very idyllic and perfect, but it's not. And it doesn't have to be, because life is all of those imperfections taken together that form that experience of life. But that's what I try to get out of this specific routine. I have different routines catering to different ambitions, goals, endeavors, interests I have in life. I always say we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on, because accepting who we are is an important part of being in the moment, being content with who we are, where we are at this point in time. And it also gives us a solid foundation to move on in a different direction. Because there's nothing fundamentally wrong with who we are or where we are today. And sometimes people say, well, become a better you, become a new you, or, just be who you are every day, be happy, and every day try to do things that align with your principles and with the fundamental needs we have as people to go through life happy, content, satisfied, and fulfilled as contributing members of society. Society as in the family unit or the social unit we're a part of, the village or city we're a part of, the municipality, the community we're a part of, the colleagues and community that we're a part of. And if you have bigger ambitions or capabilities, skills, insights, knowledge, maybe even at national or international levels of community. But being content with who you are is a great way to just live a satisfied life. And seeing to those basic needs which are physical. We need to eat, we need to drink, we need to sleep, we need to have shelter. If those four things are in place, then probably we have a reasonable income or finances. They don't have to be the best, but they have to be adequate for us to be content with them. Otherwise, we're always in survival mode. And then you can also look at our psychological basic needs, our need to be autonomous, to have a sense of control, to make decisions about the direction of our own life, which is important, and our need to belong to a community, whether that's a group of friends or a family unit or a society or a club. We always seek to be a part of a group, and we are happier and more content when we are accepted for who we are as a part of a group. And the only way for the group to really accept who we are is also by us accepting who we are, which comes back to one of my first points. Finally, when it comes to our psychology, we might want to develop a sense of competence or mastery, a skill or ability, something that we are good at, something that we can enjoy, something that we can become better at noticeably to ourselves, whether that is the art of essay writing, the art of movie making, the art of swinging kettlebell, judo, karate, the ability to study and learn and commit things to memory, the ability to debate well, the skill of acting, or being a stonemason, or a sculptor, or a gardener. Anything that you can develop mastery in, being a better father or a better mother, being a car mechanic, being able to draw really well. These are all things that we can choose to master in life, but we want to pick the one that we enjoy. And when it comes to work and our income, we have talents and we have passions. I'm a big proponent of pursuing our talents and building competence in talents, and then finding employment in that area, because there's nothing wrong with learning and acquiring skills, and that can be difficult if it's important enough. For example, if you want to be an engineer or a teacher, or an analyst in finance, if those things have your interest, there are some hard skills that you need to learn, and you can if those are important enough to you. And maybe those are not your talents, but you have different talents that you want to bring to bear in that field, because that is where you want to build your career, and that's completely fine. But when you take all of those things together, that might bring you a complete picture of what a being good just the way you are actually means, and being content with the day-to-day life that we have. Anyway, that's just to get us started this morning. As the sun is rising here in the mountains and the birds are flying by and singing, and the fresh air here is incredible. You can almost taste it. We're going to get started with some mobility and then some strength. And it's going to be a good day. And thanks for joining and watching if you're here. I appreciate you dropping by. We're going to start off this mobility session with some walkouts. Preparing for another day in the mountains. Nice and easy. Moving on to some breathing. Really using the diaphragm. And our neck. All the while just breathing calmly through all the exercises as we start the day. Forming a W with our arms and our body, and just simply hitchhiking, trying to gain that mobility in the back before we go and pick some pears out of a tree, or cherries, or apples, whatever has your fancy. I get distracted by some bees flying around here. Get some more mosquito bites. Hey there, good morning. Thanks for leaving a message. I'll be right over to read it. I appreciate you dropping by so early in the morning to come and enjoy the view with me here of the mountains and the blue sky at dawn. You just come and say hello and good morning. Since you're taking the time to drop by and say hi, I'm a dog too. Thanks a lot for dropping by. Yeah, it is quite amazing, right? Ankush Rana, good morning. Ever seen tennis shoes? You're in these, they're barefoot shoes. I'm not technically doing yoga, I'm doing mobility, because I don't know anything about yoga. But I can see why that might look funny, because I actually also work with weights, so it's not yoga, it's a mobility routine that borrows maybe some stretches that look like yoga. But thanks for dropping by and for making me smile, and please continue to enjoy the view as we're here. And where are you dialing in from? I'm in Austria at the moment. Are you further to the east, where it's already the middle of the day, or are you off to the west, where the night is just starting and it's evening? But maybe I should make a point at the end of this year of trying to learn. Is it Ashtanga yoga again? Because I tried a couple of years ago, but I didn't have the fitness or the stamina or the strength or the mobility. But perhaps the program that I've been on this year has better prepared me for those challenges. Because, believe it or not, at 40, mobility becomes a thing to be worried about, amongst other things. I think I'm going to miss this place when I get home again to do my workouts from my home kitchen for the rest of the year. So I better make the most of these 2 weeks if I can. But boy, this is fun. Wrists and ankles are joints too, by the way. So you do want to just keep in mind to be working on those as well. And for some reason the wasps find the kettlebells very interesting. Maybe because it's bright yellow. Who knows? Ankles. The only one that I'm skipping at the moment is my shoulder mobility, because I want to have my physiotherapist take a look at my left shoulder. Something doesn't feel quite right for certain movements. But that's an ongoing affair that will remedy over time. Let's look at that. What a great spot. And if you're dropping by, thanks for dropping by. If you're interested in what I'm doing, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And hit that like button. Help me get over the 600. That's the current goal before we move on to 650. And drop by for any one of my other live streams or shorts, predominantly about kettlebell at the moment, but more things to be added over time. All right, ankle mobility. Pushing the knee in different directions. In a responsible way. There we go. It might seem like, well, is this training and exercise? Not every bout of training needs to leave you sweating and panting and tired. You can have perfectly good physical activity at 50-60% of your heart rate, if that. So I won't worry about that too much. Okay. Cossack squats. That's it for the mobility part this morning. And move on to strength. Turn off the intervals. I'm just going to set the countdown timer. All we need is 1 minute in between sets. I'm going to do rows and we're going to do some floor presses. I'm going to start off just a brief warm-up. Two-handed, nice and easy. See if any more messages came in while I was working out. Well, but thanks for dropping by, for leaving your messages. And go nice two-handed row before we do a two-handed press. There. Everything seems to be working properly. So we can do a set, single arm rows, single arm presses. Rows with the 16 kilo, presses with the 12 kilo. And thanks for dropping by, for leaving a message. Let me come say good morning. Living with Cherise. Please, what am I doing? I am doing a morning routine with kettlebells. I've done mobility this morning first, and I'm going to do some strength. And that's going to be the start of the day, living with Cherise. I hope that answers your question. Thanks for dropping by and saying good morning. How are you doing this morning? I hope you're doing all right. And while I'm doing this, I'm enjoying the view here in Austria of the mountains. How are you doing today? Are you doing all right? And I appreciate you dropping by and asking a question. Thanks. And for being interested. That's nice. Is it morning where you're at? Or evening? It's 6:30 in the morning here. That's the first set of 3. 1 minute break before we go on to the second set. Nothing special. Nothing too intense this morning because we have a wonderful long hike ahead of us today, and for which I will also need my energy because I get to carry 12 or 18 kilos on my back in a carrier. So yeah, for all of you watching right now, good morning. I'm Toby. Thanks for dropping by. You can leave me a thumbs up if you want to share some support or send a wave or say hello in the chat. Or just, chill out and enjoy the view with me, grab a cup of coffee. And if you're really interested in what I'm doing, want to know more, you can always go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And you can follow me on my journey being fit at 40, planning to be fit well into my hundreds. Pretty soon the bakery is going to open. That's a beautiful little fresh bakery here. So I like to get there when they open so we get some fresh bread in the morning for breakfast and to pack for our foray into the mountains. Second set done. And 1 minute break before we go on to the final set. I'm going to use the time to make another recording this morning, but that's a recording, not a live video like this one. Annoyed Warthog, the view is amazing. It is, I know, it's pretty incredible. I'm still in awe every morning being able to come here and do a workout. It's great. But I guess that's what you get when you're up in the mountains at dawn. Lucky. And we're blessed to have such places in the world. And it's a very accessible part of the world. By train, bus, and a lot of public hiking trails. So, if you're ever in Europe and drive through Austria, worth driving into the Alps for a visit. And the final set this morning. And that's it, friends. We are done. Let's take 1 minute to appreciate the view and think about the day ahead, the workout, life. Let's consider our basic physical needs, whether we have sufficient food, drink, a place to sleep, a home. And if that's in a good place, what are our finances like? Are our finances stable? Do we have stable income? Or do we have financial stress or distress in our life? And how does that affect our ability to procure drink and food and a safe place to sleep, a home? And try to think in solutions, but maybe that's a bit easier said than done when we're in survival mode. And from there, just consider the psychological basic needs we have, the need for autonomy, need to be in control of our own life, to make decisions about our own life, things we enjoy doing, things we want to do, things we want to accomplish. Think about that, whether you're able to do that or whether you want to be more able to do that. Thinking about competence. Is there anything in life that we're working on that we are becoming good at, that we are getting better at, a skill, whether that's the skill of learning or a sport or a craft, or something related to work that we enjoy. And that gives us innate pleasure, but also a sense of accomplishment and competence. Finally, a sense of belonging. Is there a group that we belong to, a group of friends, a family unit, colleagues, a sports club? And what is our role in that group? What can we contribute? What do we bring? What can we give to that group in return for that sense of belonging, a place where we can be who we are whenever, wherever we are, with people we trust and can confide in? And if any of these raise any questions or eyebrows for you, perhaps consider strategizing about what can be done, what position you're in, what agency you have or don't have, because life's not fair. And sometimes we are put in a position where we have to get by and get through until an opportunity to make things better appears for us in life. And that's completely alright also. So it's not always your fault. The bad situation you're in, I know, because I've been there. But I also know that there are opportunities to make things better if we're able to find the focus and the space of mind to seize them when they appear. Thanks so much for joining me here this morning, friends. It's 6:40 a.m. and that's going to be the end of this stream. Like I always say, we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. And the only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. So I'll see you tomorrow, friend. Take care.